Hello there.
So what is going on with Kong in Godzilla Kong Supernova? If any of the early leaks and rumors have any kind of credibility, it sounds like we are going to see some really crazy stuff unfold in this movie for Kong's overall story arc. Of course, we are going to see the Ape Army return, his Ape Kingdom now, because he is now King Kong. And then, of course, we're going to see Shimo return in this movie as well and have some really crazy stuff happen. Is Shimo going to die? What's going on with Zuko? Is Kong getting a suit of armor that kind of turns into its own robot like Jet Jaguar? I don't know. There's a lot of crazy rumors. We're going to touch on all of them in this video. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, then consider subscribing. And remember, like I say in all my videos, we're just talking about leaks and rumors for the movie. None of this is established or confirmed yet, so we're just kind of having fun theorizing based off early rumors and trying to connect whatever dots we can. So we're going to get into it in this video. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing, and let's do it.
The Atomic Fair.
Now, back at the end of June, we had some pretty big stuff come out on 4chan for some early rumors for Godzilla Kong Supernova. And specifically what it touched on was early ideas for a mech that was supposed to be, or is supposed to be, in the movie. Now, the reason that this ties in is because the guy who plays Dr. Alan Grant, Sam Neill, that's his name, Sam Neill. It was slipping my tongue for some reason, so I had to pull it up. But yeah, Sam Neill actually posted a video of him standing next to a giant mech and said that this was going to be his co-star. Now, a lot of people are thinking it's jokes and theorizing, but I'm connecting dots here and I'm seeing that he is definitely seeming to be subtly jabbing at the fact that there could potentially be some kind of mech in this movie. But this is what this leak had said. It said that he also briefly saw blueprints, and he, being this extra who is working on the film and played a scientist in a lab in one scene apparently, but they said that he also briefly saw blueprints for what looked like a giant robot. While he didn't get a good look, he said it had a more humanoid build, and he heard that its body could separate and attach to King Kong. He said not sure how that's supposed to work. So, that could just be a giant load of shit. And I'm not going to, dismiss the idea that that could just be fake. Now, I hope I'm making all these dots make sense for you guys so far, because we're about to go even deeper into the rabbit hole. A second leak coming from somebody separate over on 4chan, and this was actually here in the last month or so, connected even more dots here, and actually touched on stuff that we saw in set photos. So guys, I really think that we are heading towards seeing a mech, maybe a suit or armor for Kong, but at least some kind of mech in this upcoming Godzilla Kong movie. It says Trapper has great influence in Monarch and is part of a Titan medical team. A massive robot is constructed from the remains of Mechagodzilla to aid the Titans. So guys, it seems like we may actually be seeing what looks like the MonsterVerse version of Jet Jaguar. It doesn't seem like we're going to be getting the trademarked character, and it seems like the MonsterVerse is leaning on taking inspiration from classical Godzilla movies and kind of creating its own thing there and creating kind of original monsters. It seems like that's what they're leaning towards to probably save money. Now, here is that third most recent leak, which actually touches on stuff that I have talked about in other videos, such as the big Heisei inspirations coming up for Godzilla Kong Supernova, which is personally my favorite era of Godzilla. I'm so excited to see how inspired this upcoming movie is by that Heisei era. But this is what it says here. It says that sensing the impending space threat, a second mass awakening of monsters unfolds. Monarch's failure to properly control the Titan situation and warn the public of impending disaster in the new empire. Their operations are now being overseen by the government, who look to drive the Titans back into the Hollow Earth. This comes into conflict with Kong and his kingdom. Now, early rumors for this movie did state that we were potentially set to see mechanized zombie Titans in this movie. That sounds a little insane and far-fetched, but if you tie it into this most recent stuff here, where they are pretty much coming out in these most recent leaks, and even in stuff that is being hinted at by official, cast members and even some of the production of the movie, it seems like they are hinting at some kind of Monarch tactical team that's either hunting Titans, euthanizing Titans, or even possibly assisting Titans. It is very possible that we see Monarch hunting down Titans, killing Titans, and then creating mechanized, enhancements to these Titans and bringing them back to life, kind of resurrecting them, mainly things like skull crawlers and like more fodder-like titans like that. That would make so much sense to see in this movie, and you can see why this would enrage Godzilla. This would enrage Kong, who is probably ready to be sealed off in the Hollow Earth and doesn't want to interact with man ever again. There are even early rumors that Godzilla actually wants to maybe even wipe out humanity because he is so furious with how they are behaving towards the Titans. So all of this stuff I think is going to be spiraling in this movie before the cosmic threat ultimately arrives. Similar to the Marvel films where the biggest villain shows up when the heroes are the most divided. Seems like that's what's going on in this movie, guys. And then we are possibly also going to see Kong armor up and get a Jet Jaguar-like armor enhancement, piloted or controlled by Trapper, that can also detach from him and form as its own robots. One more interesting thing here that's its most recent leak said is that Godzilla and Kong's adoptive son, Suko Bond. Godzilla serving as an uncle of sorts. So that's kind of interesting, and it makes me wonder if we're still going to see Godzilla Jr., but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, okay? I have a funny feeling, a weird feeling that we're possibly going to see Godzilla Jr. in this movie, especially considering everything that's already been seeded up to this point. But guys, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I'm crazy, I'm nuts, all of this is bullshit and fake. I'm sure a lot of you guys do. Comment down below whatever you think, though, and I'm going to be here continuing to report on this stuff. So until the next one, guys, be safe and stay well. Bye-bye.